And lesson learned. Even though it's on YouTube, it is still protected. So let's try this again. Okay, so here is what I am thinking. I'm thinking that instead of doing the episode stream, we're just going to have to, I guess what we're just going to have to do is wing it. So we did get some ideas. I did get a lot of your ideas on the stream, so no worries. If we can't, we can't make that happen for reals, then let's see what we can do here. All right. What I'm going to have to do, though, is I'm going to have to find a way to exit that other stream, which apparently is still going. Is that real? All right, let's see. For now, let's just play it like we're here. All right. Yeah, I never said that streaming was easy, unfortunately. And unfortunately, this is one of the things that I do concern myself with. All right. Now let's try this again. There we go. Yo. All right. Perfecto. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we are going to just, like I said, we're just going to wing it here. We're going to pull up Vegas. We did get quite a bit. I think that we actually got a lot from what we were able to stream before they cut us off. So let's actually attack this with every single one of the ideas. And there were some really good ones. Actually, one that I'm curious to. Yeah, take two. Welcome back, Yelstro. I'm so sorry that you missed the action, but long story short, it's Game On Part 3, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. Let's make it happen. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have to be really, really careful. It's very evident that there are some systems that prevent me from playing too much of the episode at once, and I think that, oh yeah, thank you so much, Gilstrom. Oh, Captain, my Captain. We're going to have to be really careful. I'm so sorry you didn't get the chance to see that initial one. Hey, oh, yeah, you're in early. Yeah, you missed a little bit of the blocked stream, but if you don't have any context, we started watching, I decided to take a gamble. We started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal Episode 1 for the sake of mining for ideas, but the stream got cut off by YouTube because it recognized copyrighted content, of course, and it ended up being just me talking to myself before I realized, wait a minute, something's screwy around here. Combo of the footage and sound, absolutely, and the whole plethora of things. But I think that we'll be safe if we just used a video as is, just mine it and use the ideas that we did accumulate. I mean, I've done Velma on the stream. I've done Beyblade. I'm sure Beyblade has some kind of copyright protection because, it's Beyblade. If they don't have any copyright protection, I'd be very surprised. Yo, what is going on, Uncle LJ? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's just go through each and every single one of these. And I think I'm going to, first things first, just take a look at Dinner Warrior's idea. Fast forwarding. And yeah, I've already turned this source into Swiss cheese a little bit because of how much I wanted to try right off the bat. So let's go to the very beginning, just before the intro. When he wakes up, Dinner Warrior noticed a lot of decorations on the wall, and those decorations were very Gaston Antlers-ish. May not be possible, but it is possible to play the audio full in your headphones and not for us, or in an exceptionally low volume. It is it is a gamble nonetheless. I think that they seek out both the audio, even at a minimal volume, because otherwise people could just upload really soft episodes to YouTube, and the video, the visuals of it all, that's a whole other thing. Well, I'm about to make my Pink Floyd Poops and NC Wall remix because I'm about to make a supercut of my PF edits. Nice LJ. Holy smokes, 3/4 of an hour long. Dang. Ooh, what are all those heads? That's another good idea. Let's go right back to that. By the way, Cloud Zach, what is going down, my man? All right. Yeah, these are some interesting heads. I wonder if there's a better shot of them. Yeah, these shots. Okay. So that's the last scene in his room. I think this is the best one there is. If we can get antlers up here, that would be pretty spectacular. But there's also the heads idea. What are all these heads? In fact, actually, we might be able to do just a very simple, subtle joke. Let's see. Right here, we can just add the faces of evil to the walls. This is one of those jokes where I think we can make that work. Oh no, 3 to 4 hours long. Nice. Nice job, Uncle LJ. If you can make that happen, that'd be killer. When he jumps up, maybe have him fall back down. Yeah. Ooh, that's a good thought. That is a good thought. So he jumps up. He lands on his feet here. Earlier, he falls out of bed. And when he falls out of bed, ooh, it's not animated. So it just shows him out of bed. So that's definitely a doable thing. I'm going to make a sidebar here because we have so many ideas just from this one frame alone. So jumps and falls. Antlers from Gaston. And then the heads from Faces of Evil. Like he's just unable to stand up, yeah. Oh, I see. It looks like antlers are growing out of his head. Let me just go right back to the... Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, I thought you were talking about the wall decorations. Yeah, those do look like antlers. Oh my god. Yo, it's weird. This is the most Pokemon-looking Yu-Gi-Oh! Character I think I've ever seen. If you had asked me what type he was, I would say Dark Fire. Some kind of rhino. Yeah, that's gonna be something. Let's attack that. Let's attack that right now. I'm gonna minimize the amount of times I go to YouTube. So every time I open up YouTube for the sake of downloading, what I'm gonna do is just quickly, very quickly, shut it because we need as much bandwidth for this stream as possible. So we need everyone's favorite. No one fucks like Gaston. Post shock sites like Gaston. No one's dick is as incredibly thick like Gaston. Okay, Disney fan. That's perfect. Oh, it's the widescreen edition. Huh. Well, I only really need some of the audio and some of Gaston's mannerisms here, so that'll work. So we've got to add this. Now, just waiting for him to throw out a Houndour. Yeah. Thank you for bringing up Hour of Poop last time. I had never heard of them and annihilated their entire collection ever since. How could you not? Their stuff is so good. It's the kind of YouTube poop that you watch and you're never going to be able to forget that experience. If it was, which one did you start with? I'm curious because, like I said, I will vouch for Buzz Gets COVID, but there are so many good choices that you could have started with. I'm just really curious which one you like the best, and if you like the Friar John one, I don't blame you. Apparently that one is his biggest hit, or their biggest hit. So Beauty and the Beast Gaston. I just had a ludicrous idea for a visual gag, but it might be involved. As scenes go on, have more and more... Oh my god, that's a good idea. Oh, that is a sick idea. Okay, antlers. More antlers. More antlers. I'm just putting this in. I'm going to underline more antlers. That's a great visual gag idea. I just have to add the antlers. How hard could it be? Like, you know, with Yu-Gi-Oh! Hairstyles, it's almost like there's a very, very specific criteria that it has to meet. It has to be just crazy enough. Okay, pop it in there. Good. You started from most recent and went backwards. Okay, so I think if memory serves, you started from the Lord of the Rings animated one. Could be funny, like making a hairstyle more ludicrous. Yeah. You know, it reminds me of... Hold on. It reminds me of Scary Movie 3, where the sheriff's hat in every scene just gets a little bigger and bigger and bigger. I swear, it's Scary Movie 3. Wildly underrated movie. Never got into the show, but the YouTube poops back in the day were pretty funny. Yeah, the thing about Zexal is that it's not a new version of Yu-Gi-Oh! At all. It's like, what is it, 10 years old, I think? Maybe the Japanese version's 10 years old. But the YouTube poops have been like, there have been YouTube poops being made of this show for quite a while. So let's capture as many of those antlers. We'll find, this is a good start. Like, he's got so many right now. Actually kind of looks like he's wearing a mask on his head. So let's get Gaston integrated into this. Let's go to ZXL. That's my Zexal folder. And you probably noticed that Gilbert Gottfried, I've already added a pretty funny Gilbert Gottfried joke. And I'm going to show maybe a little bit later, maybe down the line. I guess it just depends on whether or not this stream also gets hammered. I doubt it is, because we're not playing much of the episode. Just start with, Mario the Toast Awakens, his most recent one. Then went to the Lord of the Rings one. How he animated Gandalf slamming his fist. Yes. Yes. Like, he's just a fantastic animator. And I think that that's just, like, so many of the best YouTube poop creators have also been fantastic animators. I mean, Hour of Poop notwithstanding, Gabuchan and Walrus Guy especially, he's the one who I think raised the bar for what a YouTube poop could be, because even his earlier stuff was animated very specifically. If you had watched YouTube poop in 2007 and you watched a lot of YouTube poops, more often than not what you watched is Windows Paint being used to, you know, I used it so often as well to try and animate as well as I could. It was really just like singular images, but Walrus Guy actually got some tiny little things like a tear rolling down Mario's eye as he realizes he has to sacrifice himself to prevent the toast meltdown. That's Mario and Luigi Travel in Time Part 2. Classic. 2007. Okay, so let's see. I use antlers in all my decorating, which is a little further back in the song. Oh, and before I forget, better make sure I have this toggled. Smart resample. I want that off. God darn, I want that off. Disable resample. This will make things smoother. And I have it on preview audio. Okay, preview audio. That's good. That's fine. It looks very grainy in the preview window. If I put it on best, it'll look just fine. Just give it a sec. There. See? So I'm just going to keep it on preview auto for the sake of saving some of the bandwidth. It looks like he's puking in that clip. Have a bunch of random eggs come out of his mouth while Gaston says eggs. I wonder if that's been done before. I can integrate Gaston into this. Gaston popping out eggs. Eggs. Like, legitimately, I've trained in animation for years. There's no question why that man has so many old school cartoon references. He's a legitimate animator. I completely agree. Like, even in Buzz Catches COVID, like at the very beginning, he's animating a human figure who's crouched down. And the squash and stretch to it is fantastic. Oh, yes, idea. There's an audio clip from The Replacements where the linebacker pukes on the field and someone yells eggs. The Replacements, isn't that a Disney show? I could be wrong, entirely wrong. Like, I remember there was like a Disney show that tried to play off of the Fairly Odd Parents, where these two kids could just telephone somebody and they'd replace their coach with somebody else, a different coach who they thought would be better for getting the team to win. I don't know, but The Replacements, am I right about that? I want to make sure I'm searching for the right source here. Okay. Let's see. Antlers and all my decorating. Where is... I think I maybe just... It's been a while since I listened to the song. I was a lad, I ate 4 dozen eggs. Okay, here it is. Antlers. I'll just start with antlers. That's Santlers. Antlers. Just keep it simple, straightforward. I meant the main Yu-Gi-Oh character puking as he looks sick in the scene. Oh, yeah. I've never heard The Replacements before. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Gilstrom. Is that the show? Is that show that was like that Disney Fairly Odd Parents, essentially? Oh, Replacements is a 2000 Keanu Reeves football movie. Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of something else entirely. All right, let's shove this all the way to the beginning because we'll need it. And, goodness gracious. So what we need to do is we need to get this... Maybe, I think it just goes for like 15 seconds from the room, when he wakes up from the dream, to when he is going to swing down the rope. Here it is. Okay, he collects his cards. That's good. I'll just cut this away and then bring it over to the beginning, and we'll start to tamper with it. And we've got antlers. Okay. I think that's a great... This has good view of the antlers. So what I'm thinking here, since I don't think we have to worry too much about bleed, since I have the auto, I have smart, I have certain things in place. So yeah, it's fine. So let's just create some magic. Let's just save this. Antlers. Antlers. And then, but I'm going to cut it right here so that I know to add this particular scene. And we're going to have a zoom in here. My gosh. These are antlers. I can't believe I never saw this. I use trap cards in all my... Ooh! I wonder if he... Okay, well now I have to know. Is there a way to get him to say trap cards? I think that's a small idea. Combining Gaston with his source. So, let's just put this down here. I use trap cards in all of my decorating. Cards in all of my decorating. I have to kind of see through my microphone here. There we go. I love this. It's just going to be a matter of getting that right mix. I think we can sentence mix it properly if we have, like, let's see. Let me just pop this open real quick. I'm not going to open YouTube because I just want to, let's see. Gaston lyrics. Just peruse the lyrics. I've listened to the song long enough. I've made a YouTube poop of this song way back in 2010, 2011-ish. That girl is tangled with the wrong man. No one says no to Gaston. Dismissed, rejected. Oh, by the way, Dinner Warrior, speaking of this, I absolutely loved your Amnesia YouTube poop. I can't stop watching it. Guys, if you haven't watched Dinner Warrior's YouTube poop, which was just, I guess for like a better word, a spadinnered version of dialogue from an Amnesia game, you've got to watch it. I can't stop watching it. It is amazing. Have a bunch of mirror walls and trap holes in his hand or something. There you go. I'm really disappointed that it isn't a Sonic X YouTube poop you are making. I know, but I do have some ideas for a Sonic YouTube poop. I just need to A, compile the source, and B, think of some ideas. I don't want to start anything unless I know I can get a head start on it, so to say. Because if I start something with the promise of eventually coming up with ideas, I'm just going to put so much more pressure on myself. And I've seen some episodes of Sonic X. The one that I made in 2008 was the only one that, and this is the one that, I don't know, YouTube alerted all of you back in 2020 that I unlisted and treated as though it was a new video, Chaos Control Freaks. It's been a little tricky for me to find that right Sonic X episode, but also I think that I want to try the Sonic movie more than I want to try Sonic X. I don't know, I just feel like it's a much, much better endeavor, especially since Sonic X I don't really have ties to. Deeper Cut has tons of ties to Sonic X. He's used him in so many YouTube poops, and I think that between the both of us, Deeper Cut's the bigger Sonic fan. Thanks for the shout out. I'm glad you liked the video. Absolutely, man, oh man. I can't say enough good things about it. I love, my favorite part, by the way, was the very end where and he will eat your dinner. It's just the perfect way to end it. And of course, when you used fed and burped, that as well. So I used trap cards in all of my decorating, and yeah, let's go through the Gaston lyrics. So if I want him to say trap card, like there are two words here, trap card. I can look for TRA. If I can find just TRA, the P I don't even have to worry about, because sometimes when you say the word trap, you're not enunciating the P very well. Card, D is probably going to be needed, but especially since it's plural, so cards, you can get a Z sound, you can get anything. I've never heard is someone reverse the end of the Sonic X intro. Gotta go faster, Sonic X. It says, I have a feeling that's been done. Can you shout out to me? Yeah, absolutely. Fartsmone. Should be shout out to Fartsmone. Guys, check out some of his YouTube poops as well, the stuff on his channel. Where is Deeper Cut nowadays? He was in my he was my intro to YouTube poop thanks to his Sonic Underground YouTube poop way back in 2007. Yeah, Sonic Underground. I think that, okay, I remember that, I think Sonic Can't Play Baseball was, no, my first Deeper Cut YouTube poop was That Kirby Can Drive a Dingo Diddy. So, oddly enough, he introduced me to the Kirby anime more than he introduced me to the Mario and Sonic X. But where he is nowadays, he's away from YouTube poop. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to, make as much contact with him as I've liked. But I know he is online often, and I'm certain is doing very well. And he knows that you guys love a lot of what you've done, a lot of what you've shown. For him, just making YouTube poops was such a big deal for him. And when you guys loved it, he was extremely grateful. So all of those classics that are brought up, like, I'm always a little bit nostalgic of him too. Mad Lad had to drop, yeah. Well, it wasn't his last. Revenge of the Mad Madman was not his last one. His last one it was technically an unfinished one, an unfinished YouTube poop of Batman, the animated series. But if we're looking at the last whole YouTube poop that he ever released, if memory serves, that was Yu-Gi-Oh! The Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube poop. Yu-Gi-Oh! Explores the... Shoot, I can't remember the full title. Yu-Gi-Oh! Explores portable consoles, something or other. I know it's been re-uploaded, and you can watch it. It's not on his channel anymore, not on the channel anymore, because unfortunately it got taken down. But there are plenty of re-uploads. That, I think, is one of his best. It's got so many great jokes, like the elevator doors closing before Tristan enters. It's just a killer. And I want him back too, but man, you know, some people you can't force. Like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. He's got to come back on his own accord, and if he doesn't come back, he doesn't come back. I mean, a lot of great people I really want to come back as well, not just Deeper Cut. And he's one of the greatest, undeniably, but I don't think about what he could do if he came back. I think about what he did, all the amazing stuff that he put out, because I grew up with it just as much as you did, and it was amazing to watch. It was amazing waking up and seeing that he just dropped something on YouTube back in the day when it was just so like relatively infantile, the website. Man, I could just think back to all of that. I flat out put an homage to Deeper Cut in my Sonic movie YouTube poop. That's great. I mean, you can't talk about YouTube poop without bringing up Deeper Cut and all the things that he did. You can't rush art. You're absolutely correct. So let's look at the lyrics for the Gaston song. I legitimately never dreamed you'd return, so I won't speak of the greats returning without giving you the credit you sincerely deserve. Thank you so much, Galestrom. I mean, truth be told, I really did want to come back a lot sooner, but so many things that some of it was my own doing, some of it was external, but a lot of it was my own doing, and I really wish I hadn't gone. But you know what? I think that, you know, I don't think about what I could have done if I had come back sooner. I think about what I'm doing now, and I'm really grateful that you and so many others are really enjoying what I'm putting out now. A lot of the stuff that I've put out, like, is actually some of my favorite stuff. There's no man in town is my... Okay, this is LeFou singing, and we need to get to the Gaston section. So it's been like Gaston. Your brand is represented by Haruhi in my mind. I completely agree. You can't have a YouTube poop by me without Haruhi in some capacity. I'll try and slip something in. Let's see. As you see, I've got biceps to spare. Why don't you make trap card? Expectorating. Man. No one shoots it. Makes those beats tremble. I use antlers in all of my decorating card. So, decorating. He has a long DE to start it, and then he goes to corating. But the core might be... It might be possible to turn that into card. I mean, we've already pulled it. A little bit of it. So we'll put that down. Decorating. C-O-R card. And if we can get that, I mean, it's a soft C-O-R, which I like. Because when you say trap card, the emphasis is on the word trap. So now we need to really find the word trap. And we can do that with a TR. We can do it with a CH and add an R if there's an RA word. So, let me just pull this over so you can see it as well. So, Gaston lyrics. All right. So that is, let's see. Gosh, it disturbs me to see you. Blah, 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 blah. Perfect. A pure paragon. Okay. So he starts singing about halfway through. As a specimen, yes, I'm intimidating. My, what a guy was Gaston. Okay. Fights like Gaston. This is going to be a little tricky. As you see, I've got biceps to spare. And every last inch. Okay, so he ends the word inch with CH. I think if I reverse that, it's not going to come out to a proper CH. Covered with hair. I'm especially good at expectorating. T from intimidating and from expectorating. So the T from intimidating, it's got some great punch to it. You're right, Gelstrom. If we have an RA word like expectorating. So he uses the word expectorating. It's almost all long vowel sounds. We need a soft vowel sound, a soft A, or like banana, trap. I think we might be able to get it from this stanza. When I was a lad, I ate 4 dozen eggs every morning to help me get large. And now that I'm grown, I eat 5 dozen eggs, so I'm rough of a barge. Yeah, he says try at some point. Maybe. There's only one way to find out. No, he doesn't say the word try. Darn it. But there's no TRA. Is there a CH aside from inch? That's inch matches in a spitting match. So he only says the CH, a CH word with inch. So the good news is that I've listened to this song enough. The music cuts out here. It might be possible to make that work. So let's pull this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to decorating. Oh, look at, just looked into the script. His second line has true. Let's see. His second line. There's a specimen. Yes, I'm intimidating. That's his first line. But let's see. Where's true? That's right. Inch of me. Okay. It's not going to be that hard to mix it once we get the ingredients. In all of my card. Yes, that's what I was hoping for. Just this sounds like card. It sounds like car. If we add a D and an S, it's going to be a lot easier. Gaston, it's true. Oh, you're looking outside the song. Do I know Phoenix James? Yes, I do know Phoenix James. In fact, Phoenix James was a YouTube pooper who I made a Secret Santa entry for, and that Secret Santa entry was the King buys NFTs, and his big Secret Santa theme, like he wanted the Monkeys, Homestar Runner, My Little Pony, and there's one other source I incorporated. But yes, Phoenix James, I'm very familiar with him. Take a sip. Okay, so we're going to the very first instance of Gaston appearing. We're gonna have to kind of pull up YouTube here, put it here so that I have a better chance. Were you trying to have him say trap card? Yes, I was trying to have him sing trap card. No biggie. So let's go to the let's see, Gaston. Okay, it's Belle. The song is Belle. And we just need to download that for the very, very specific piece of Gaston from it. And it's not too bad. But no, you're absolutely on point, Gailstrom. I think you have the right idea. So no worries. Let me just make sure this goes into the right folder this time. It's funny, you can see all of the Friends stuff that I've downloaded on 4K Video Downloader. And the thing is, to kind of sum up why there's so much Friends stuff, I'm integrating this into a YouTube poop, the Velma YouTube poop, because, by God, I have watched as much as I can of that first episode, and I can no longer stand it. It is... The more I listen to it, the more I watch it, Velma just gets so much worse. And I'm incorporating Friends and maybe a few other things. One part has already been completed. I've already finished the Velma parts, but I need to do Friends in order to tie it together. It's like the dude's rug. It ties the room together, man. YouTube Secret Santa. Now, that's a concept. Yeah, it's a great concept. If you go onto YouTube Mania right around the holiday season, what they'll do is they'll say, hey, do you want to join the YouTube Poop Secret Santa? You list sources that you want the person, the creator, to use in the YouTube Poop for you. So it's your choice, totally your choice. For me, like, obviously Haruhi is my big source, but there are a few others, and in the creation, you keep them in mind, and then when Christmas is rolling around, or relatively close to Christmas, it could be after, you submit it, you give it to the person, so to say, and that's why I made it for Phoenix James. It was the randomly selected one that I got. Phoenix James did entries for a collab based on the Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors, hosted by the Steam Lord. That's a good concept. Yeah, I think I've seen that collab when it was in... whatchamacallit? I saw that collab when it was in, like, join mode, so to say. Because a lot of people, they host their collabs from YTP Mania, from YouTube Poop Mania, because it's a forum, it's a great place to get people to join. You can choose to also, like, the YouTube Poop subreddit, the Pinchbacks Discord channel, a lot of great places, but obviously that's not the only one. Here we go. If you're looking to join a collab, that's a great place to get started. All right, this kind of bleeds in. I'm not too worried about that. So let's pull it back. Let's just try and get the Gaston sections. Yes, he shoots down the goose. And Galestrom, the word that you mentioned is true. Now, the thing about the word true is we'll definitely get the ch sound. The R might be blended very strongly with the U, the oo. And if we try to turn an oo into an a, it might sound like wa, like dra. I've been doing this for such a long time that I've heard all sorts of combinations that could end up being. So, and it also helps, I'm learning another language. I'm learning Hindi because, my wife is from India, so that means that a lot of the grammar, a lot of things that I listen to, I have to listen more adept, listen to everything a little bit more adept, and my ears a little bit more trained. There's a line, Gaston Nobel, strapping boys like me, but probably too short and simple to be sung. No worries. I mean, keep in mind, we have him singing the word card. If we can't get him singing the word trap, that's okay. That is okay. I want to listen to this first to see what we got.
The moment when I met her. From the moment when I met her, saw her, I said she's gorgeous and...
Okay, I better not play too much. All right, and this is not the part even. LeFou. Let's see. Am I too late? Did I completely pass over the line? Wow, you had a great shot, Gaston. I've got my sights. Let's see. Where in the world is that line? You know, I've listened to the Gaston song more than I've listened to the Belle song, and it shows. So let's see if we can just get the... It's true, LeFou. I think maybe it just comes before he shoots down the goose. Why is it so low quality? What kind of bandwidth do we have right here? Okay. You know what? It's probably because I have YouTube up. Let's cancel out YouTube. There. It should improve momentarily. Let me just move this down so I have some more room to explore this one more time. That happens. The bandwidth interferes with quite a lot. Yeah, we do watch Beauty and the Beast for Gaston. Although I will say Beauty and the Beast, I think, is the best Disney animated musical. So there is that. Okay. All right. It's so weird. I thought that he... Doesn't he have the line during this song? I don't get it. All right, let me go right back to this. Belle lyrics. This should be somewhat easier now. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. It's true. Oh, so maybe what it is that it's after the song. I was got into a meme role play with someone on 4chan where I took on Gaston and someone took on Suisse from Rosen Maiden, and with nothing but expression screenshots to a war on the board. Oh man, reminds me of when Halloween rolled around on the old YouTube forums. You used to be able to take the to role play as somebody else during those times, and very often what I would do is Statler and Waldorf and completely grill, flat out roast everybody. All right, so I'm gonna have to look up Beauty and the Beast dialogue, figure out when. Oh wait, no, I don't think I have to. I think I just have to go to YouTube and just search all the Gaston moments. So excuse if the stream gets a little bogged. No worries. That's all this is. Gaston moments. Gaston moments. Best of Gaston. We should get something here. We should get something. Oh, maybe Gaston and LeFou. That's the live action. We don't want that. So, Gaston and Belle's street scene. This might be it. Yeah, here we go. I don't know why it's not part of the song. It's so weird. I thought it was part of the song, but I stand corrected. That's okay. Okay, let's pop this back on. So, moving on here. Let's get Gaston and Belle downloaded for reals. This is it. This is it. I guess, Galstrom, I think you are onto it. I think this is our answer. I think this is how we do it. There's a CDI Haruhi YouTube poop I remember watching long ago that's now lost to time, where Haruhi had King Harkinian's face and spoken sentence mixing. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh man, I really wish that wasn't lost to time. I would love to see that. I love watching any Haruhi YouTube poop for that matter. So, alright, let's pull this. Gaston and Belle. Kill it. This is it. Undeniably, this is it. It's going to be the very beginning. Let's just yank it in there. Yeah, I remember this. He shoots down the duck, and then he says,
Wow, you didn't miss a shot, Gaston. You're the greatest hunter in the whole world.
I know.
No beast alive stands a chance against you. And no girl for that matter.
It's
Ha ha ha.
Ooh.
I just realized how French that is. Ha ha ha.
It's true.
Okay. So let's see what we can get from this one word. This one word. Yeah, man. Like, I've had moments where you think of YouTube poop and tried looking up, it's gone. I've had too many of those moments. They really needed to be uploaded. Like, the thing about really popular YouTube poops back in 07 and 08 is that very often they were targeted by what were called poop stealers. Poop stealers were people who downloaded it and then re-uploaded it on their account, taking credit for it. They weren't fooling anyone, of course. They were just trying to piss off the masses. But ironically, they made for a great archiving of some fantastic YouTube poops that have been lost to time. Okay, we got a ch, and we have a little bit of an R in here. I love it. So now we need an A.
I've got my sight set on that one.
I knew it.
That one.
Now he says that one, but
That one.
it's not a strong T sound. He's closing his mouth here. So I think we can get him to say trap just from these alone.
That.
Oof. It's a little bit ugly. Yeah, okay. Let's see if we can get more of that R.
True that. True that. True that. True. True. True that.
There's a lot of ooh bleeding here.
True. True that. That.
No, it's not it.
That.
Okay, we need an R. We need the R sound. An RA sound on that one.
Oh, the inventor's daughter?
She's the one. The lucky girl I'm going to marry.
But she...
The most beautiful girl in town.
I know, but...
That makes her the best. And don't I deserve the best?
Well, of course. I mean, you do, but...
Now, also, Galstrom, you said bootstrapping young lad? When does he say that again? I want to find that line in the movie, because that's a great contingency plan. Actually, it might actually turn out better. Gaston bootstrapping quote. Thurgood Marshall. Okay. Okay. Beauty and the Beast script. When all else fails. Okay. So, Internet Movie Script Database. When all else fails, Internet Movie Script Database. Now, strap. So, strap. It's from the scene where he's outside. Yes, when the Foo. Oh, strike up the band. Okay, that helps. Oh, but he doesn't. Shoot. Small tool. Let's see. Shoot, is this the real? Hold on. He says, trapped. Bell. Okay. I'm just going to look up the scene. Man, I should watch Beauty and the Beast more often, clearly. Well, whatever the case. I'll tell you, actually, you know what? Let's just move on. Keep this in the back of our mind. I'm just going to write this down. Strike up the band meme from a while back gets me every time where he goes, oh, I know, every time I I struck up the band. It goes to... I would have loved to have been a part of that meme. Okay, so we're going to put a hold on that. We're just going to move on because there are a lot of other different ideas that we can capitalize on while we've got this. So I'm going to just delete this for now because I know that we're not going to be able to find that voice clip there, but I can do some other things that were pointed out. So in the morning, how about a kiss? So very early on in the episode, there were a lot of great CDI references that we can make. Let's see.
Forgetting. What am I forgetting?
In fact, while I do that, let me go to episode 1 script. So episode 1. So there's a subscript. Is that going to be the same thing? No, that's not going to be the same thing. Okay, so, all right. It's all right, though. So let's see here. There was one particular one where she's asking for a kiss. The grandma is asking for a kiss.
You, Mom. What about a goodbye kiss? No time.
Let's capture this. And we're going to move this to roughly the beginning of the video. This is a non sequitur, but yes, I have seen Double or Ask Calmly. I know the reference behind that whole quote too, because in the Harry Potter movies versus the Harry Potter books, there are quite a lot of scenes that have been changed. Namely, when Harry is confronted by Dumbledore about putting his name in the Goblet of Fire in the book, he asks calmly. In the movie, he's assaulted. Okay.
About a goodbye kiss. No time.
So first thing I want to do is see if there is an... Oh God. Yeah. Because someone had the idea of the pole entering an unmentionable part of the body. Can that happen with the way this is? Ooh, maybe it can. It's going to take a ton of masking. Oof. So the way that it is right now, the pole entering would have to enter here. That means I'd have to mask out quite a lot. And ooh, it's doable. Definitely doable. It's going to take a ton of effort. So let's see what we can make happen. We have... Alright, here's what I'm thinking. So this was obviously one entire image that was created, and then they had the quote-unquote camera pan up on it. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to remake it. And it looks like it's going to take three different frames. Thank you. So, this thing keeps crapping out on me. I want to be able to see the chat. Pull Photoshop so it's a nuclear missile or something that goes in his bottom. Yeah. You're on the right track, and then boom, explosion. So what we're gonna have to really do is we're gonna have to buckle up, get ready. This is gonna be a lot of masking. So let's do right here. We're gonna get the legs first. So I'm gonna call this B1 body 1, and then after we get all of this, what we're gonna have to do is kind of have a way to, and I'm sure that there is, have a way to have it over. I mean, worst case scenario, we just have some of the dirt overlapping, the wall overlapping, and then we put the legs on top of it. Or it's a rifle or something. That's another good idea. I like just the Oof, if it's a rifle, that's going to require a whole bunch of masking of that broom out of her hands. So let's focus on this pair of legs first. So this is going to be the easy part. It's just legs. Perfect. Let's move on to the bottoms. This is stupid. What if you have that image with the motion lines keep going down into the earth and past like fossils into the earth, past fossils and Gimli and such? Well, the thing is that it pans up. It only looks like it's panning down because I'm going back and forth with the slider. So I don't see it applying here unless it's a very different type of pan, so to say. And then let's move on here. Gosh, this is going to be one heck of an edit that I'm going to have to make. This will probably be one of the most complex edits that I've ever made in any of the Game On YouTube hoops. I think that, it's weird because I thought that the biggest edits would come from the card edits, so to say. Would it be possible to just move the main character's body up so it's better positioned with the broom? And what is the main character's name anyway? So first off, main character's name is Yuma. And in order to move him up so he's in position with the broom, I still have to mask him out. So in order to mask him out, I'm going to have to try and merge a bunch of things together. And, because I can't mask something out without something taking its place. So I want to do that. I want to get the body positioned on the right spot in the broom. And that's going to take a lot of time and effort, but I think it'll be a great joke. If you have the will to do it, well, that's more than half the battle right there. This is too much to be worth. Okay. Yeah, there's so many intricate parts of the genes here. Yeah, I gotta say, Game On was the best title ever. Just friggin' show is asking for that joke. Absolutely. I kind of like how the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX series has become, like, just that GX series has become, I don't know, for YouTube poops, it's just, that name has stuck. At least for me. Alright, I'm just going to save this. I don't think I've saved anything yet. So now let's go back to the frames. So, up to... That is a weird smile as well. Hope to capitalize on this. So now we have the torso part. And we are going to kind of assemble all of these like a puzzle once we get them appropriately masked out. This, I think, is going to be the most complex part, because look at all this. You got things you have to cut out. All right, let's count. Sign name is B2. B2. Got a dark joke in mind. With the broom up its butt, it's like he's been impaled. You put... Oh, man. Well, there's the Vlad the Impaler joke. There's another one. That is undeniably a dark joke. But there's also the... So, if you remember from... What's that poop? It was a Deeper Cut poop. Resident Evil 4 Deeper Cut Edition. There's the sound that Leon makes when he's impaled by that spiky monster. I don't know what it's called, but that sound can work probably a little bit better. But I wonder how it's all going to look when all of this is done, because that's going to be the big question. How will all of this look when it has been properly cut out and fastened together? Because we're making a body here. All right. This is part of his shirt. get that right. Get on there. Just watched the beginning of Game On 2 and realized the over-the-top lull screen was also done the recent Star Wars one. Yes. Over-the-top villain screaming lull gets me. I think that's a good throwaway joke. I love it because it's so easy to do, and it's kind of like an internet savvy word, which I like too. Like, I love it when in that poop he says, "I'll show you the lulls," and reminds me of 08 and 09 when lulls was a word so often used in just the general meta humor of the internet. In fact, I think isn't there a site, lulsec or something like that? I have no idea what that even was, but I know that they weren't exactly the best site. Okay. Whew. I think the best thing about Game On Part 2 is that also allowed me to use the Chaz, which is, so the Chaz, the character who, is heading the Society of Light for Sartorius, one of the main bad guys in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. The Chaz tends to be really over the top in a lot of the episodes, and in this episode, it was just unreal. Like, he went from being a rival to the main character to, I don't know about a joke, but just a comical villain. Almost a comical villain, where all of these things that he was making the members of the Obelisk Blues do were so crazy. And then, I wonder how everyone's reaction was to seeing that for the very first time. GX is not like a show that I like, because it has so many moments where it makes me wish that I was watching the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And when it's on, but what I'll respect that it goes up to 11 in the batshit insane department, making characters do the wildest shit. I think that's really what helped to contribute to a lot of the humor in that video. Okay, how do we do? So now we have to start cutting out this little piece right here. Sometimes it's 10 times funnier because it's not lol but clever, a lol, so in subconsciously even more hilarious that the villains can't even laugh out loud correctly. And I also like juxtaposing the lol with otherwise really serious villains, like I did. And like I do in a couple times. Like in the Mulan YouTube poop, it wasn't just lol. I don't think I used lol. I used bow, wow, wow. And I did that in Star Wars too. I made both General Hux say bow, wow, wow. And I also got Shen Yu from the Mulan YouTube poop, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorites to have worked on, the Mulan one. Calling Hux a serious villain is pushing it. So here's the thing: in episode 7, he could have been something. In episode 7 and 8, Hux was made out to be a real, actual threat. More so 7, because in 7, well, first off, this scene was just crazy. But you have him on that planet giving a speech with the flags behind him, and he's just losing it, absolutely losing it. I remember being in the theater and looking at my then girlfriend at the time, now my wife, and thinking, what the hell? Because Hux was undeniably a threat, but I think that his moment of being a real threat should have come in episode 9, which I will still argue is the worst of the Star Wars movies. Alright, number 2's done. And, oh man. I just wish that he was... I wish the entire sequel trilogy was done monumentally better. There's blame all around for what went wrong, but I think that a lot of it goes to, not sticking, like the team not sticking to their guns on a lot of the ideas. Okay, so now it's number 3. So we have this, and the legs will meet at the torso. And we have a little bit of an overlap. Okay, good. So let's get number 3, and then we'll piece it all together like a puzzle. Rian Johnson deserves the lion's share. So I actually disagree. I think Rian Johnson was one of the best things that could have ever happened to Star Wars. And I realize I'm in the minority on this, but one of the biggest problems that I had with Episode 7 is that it didn't push Star Wars into anything new. And I'm not talking about special effects. I'm talking more so about everything. When Star Wars, the original Star Wars came out, it was heralded as one of the most groundbreaking science fiction, science fantasy films, whatever you like to call it, of its time. And a lot of people look to it as inspiration for what could be done in movies. And the trilogy really, it reflected that as well. The prequel trilogy, even with all of the faults that it had in the story, you can't deny it did not look good. I think that George Lucas was really interested in in photorealism, trying to get special effects done to make his creations come to life a lot more easily. I didn't push Star Wars into Hosis. Welcome, Honarius. But yeah, the prequel trilogy, even for all its faults, plot-wise, it looks really good. Like, there are a lot of things that I like to look at, even from episode 1, that still look great to this day. The sequel trilogy. Okay, the sequel trilogy is not going to compete with Avatar, with special effects. James Cameron utterly annihilated special effects for years to come with all of that effort. And if you're going to compete, you've got to take Star Wars in new thematic directions. Episode 7 sucked. I think Episode 7 was such a letdown. Episode 8, there are parts of Episode 8 that I do not like. But I loved the themes, and that's the thing that I will always remember from Episode 8, that it stuck to some of the best themes of any Star Wars film. And it overshadowed the problems I had. I had problems with the Canto Bight scenes. I had problems with a lot of what happened on the ship. And I had problems with Rose crashing into Finn. That was just a big what the fuck moment for me. But as far as thematically, I think that was the way that Star Wars should have gone. You need to strengthen the storytelling. You need to do things that are amazing. And there were some really good scenes, like the lightspeed crash. Oh man, that's the kind of thing that I will always remember seeing in theaters. So I will defend Rian Johnson on this. I think that the direction that Star Wars should have gone, he took it in that right direction. Because if he didn't, I think Star Wars would have continued to just rehash like episode 5 or something like that. I would not have liked that at all. I would have just been so disappointed. Like, I really wanted that experience. Saddest part is that Lucas sold the rights out of humility, that he didn't want to ruin the legacy and believed Disney would treat it correctly. I think that I give a lot of credit to, the team at Disney. They really did try to make something that future generations would love. I think that a kid growing up watching those movies, those new movies, is going to have a much, much different perspective of them than I would, who had the context of, I've never seen any Star Wars movie in theaters aside from Episode 2, but I was too young to remember most of it. And Episode 7, I wanted that Star Wars experience. I wanted that from Episode 7. I didn't get it, but I got it from Episode 8, and I couldn't be happier. So there was a little bit of an emotional tie to Episode 8. Zexel from my cap, it's more likely than you think. Yeah, absolutely, Tasuki. Absolutely. James Cameron hit it out of the ballpark with Avatar. Absolutely. The special effects. Yeah, the special effects of Avatar are so good. Like, imagine if James Cameron did Star Wars. Imagine if his team, his production budget, his production tools, if all of that was used for Star Wars and not Avatar, we would be talking about a very different trilogy to this day. Now, of course, Disney owns Avatar now because they own Fox, and of course, Fox was the one that released Avatar. So, in a sense, maybe it'll be possible. But as I understand, you're not going to watch James Cameron movies for a lot of plot. You're going to watch them for the great special effects. Even movies like Titanic employed incredible special effects. And that's the thing that James Cameron really has an advantage over. Like, he knows how to frame special effects properly. He knows when he can use it to wow the audience instead of just bore them. Imagine a Star Wars with James Cameron. I think it would look great. Plot-wise, I think it would not be good, but I think it would still look great. Lightspeed crash is cool, but the worst possible thing he could have done. It was literally impossible for her to catch up. Yeah, the thing about the Lightspeed crash is that I heard people argue online saying, well, why didn't the other ships in the past, in the prequel trilogy, in the original trilogy, do that? And my thought was, yeah, why didn't they? And I'm not saying that because, it was overlooked way back when. I think there was a legitimate reason not to do it, and that was if, in the movie, the situation was so dire. It was I guess in the episode 9 they mentioned it's a 1 in a million chance, although I think that they added that in after the fact to kind of appease people who didn't like it. But you have a gigantic ship in front of you, and it's not that far away, so the light speed ram probably was going to make more sense there. If it were a tiny ship that were doing that light speed ram, it probably wouldn't do much, but it was a bulky ship, that ram. So we can discuss the logistics of it. There's so much probably that goes into the science of it all that I don't even know where to begin on. Okay, so we have here, so let's shrink this. And we need to get these shrunken to the, let's see, 25, 55. Let's make it, let's see if we can get it as close to a real number as possible. Yeah, to 3,000. And then this one to 3,000. I don't know if Lucas is always the best person to write these things. Not really. I mean, Lucas is going to be... so, as I understand, Lucas was not the best writer, even for the original trilogy. And I will say that, you know, looking at episode 6, it does make a lot of sense, because there's a lot of filler in episode 6 that I did not like. I'm sure the kids love the Ewoks. I was bored by a lot of their antics, and I thought that it really took away from the sense of urgency that was trying to be signaled in a lot of those in that movie. So unfortunately, they didn't try to make a legacy. I found out Abrams went to Lucas and tried to carry on his story, and Kathleen Kennedy destroyed what was meant to be the legacy. They did have a script. You know, I heard Kathleen Kennedy was a big part of what went wrong with the sequel trilogy. I mean, I think that if she was at the helm and she was the decision maker for all of these, and she did not green light a lot of them, then yeah, that's really sad. Because, I mean, J.J. Abrams is not the best. I mean, there are things about J.J. Abrams I don't like. I think that a lot of the things he tries to do very, very often come off as imitations rather than the genuine thing. There was a movie of his that I saw, I think it was 2010 he made it, called Super 8. And I thought it was a good movie, but what it was trying to do in, you know, trying to replicate a lot of that 80s feel in a lot of, you know, in a lot of those movies, I thought that it was done better in a show like Stranger Things. And that was because with that movie, Super 8, it was evident on the surface what Abrams was trying to do, but it didn't really fit. I can't explain exactly why it didn't fit. It just didn't come off as... it came off as borrowed interest. Borrowed interest. Like, Abrams was more interested in making a movie that appealed to 80s fans rather than making an 80s movie. And I feel like that problem also was persistent with the Star Wars movie he did. Okay, so we got our Yuma. This is our Yuma. Now what we need to do is get a backing. Let's see. We have no green on here, so a green screen backing would be perfect. I don't have one yet. I'll just pull it from anywhere else. The thing I like about James Cameron is that he's not been bullied around by shareholders. He's spending gargantuan amounts of time and money to make stuff that stands out. I completely agree. I mean, James Cameron is a name. You either know him from the 80s for his work on Terminator and Aliens. You know him from the 90s for Titanic, which is one of my favorite movies, by the way. That's how I know him. Or you know him for Avatar, which, I mean, the experience that it was, you can't deny how good of an experience Avatar was. All right, let's just get this image in there. Just a random arm with green on it. Don't worry, there's intention here. And this arm was part of Shark Boy, Crank That Shark Boy Part 1. Yeah, Lightspeed crash breaks the universe, sadly. There's now no planets that can't be destroyed by a suicide droid entering a ship and kamikazing everything. Entirely broken universe. There was no science involved. Sadly, it was entirely... This would be cool, and supposed Star Wars scholar Johnson gave the go-ahead. I mean... I get why they were a little bit taken aback, like fans were taken aback by it. I don't see it as a universe breaker. I just can't, because I think that in real life, like, not in real life, I guess, but in the Star Wars universe, they would find a way to make the rules a lot more stringent for something like that to be pulled off. Here we go. Be full. So now I've got this body, and because I have this body, I can employ that green screen. Blue or red would not have worked because there's blue or red on the colors. So chroma key. Give me the best green screen you can. I want to make this work so gosh darn badly. Bada bing, baby. Okay, just to be sure, capture this color, this specific color. Avatar 2's last quarter of the film is basically like Titanic 2. I've still got to see Avatar 2. I've seen Avatar, the original, a couple of times already, but the second Avatar I still need to watch. I mean, it looks expensive. Absolutely expensive, I'll say that. It looks like a kind of movie that took maybe $1 billion to make. I think because Star Wars is space fantasy, you can figure out ways to handwave lore. There's no real attempt to try and adhere to scientific principles. I think you're absolutely right. There's a difference between science fiction and science fantasy. And science fantasy is probably a better descriptor of what Star Wars is, even though there are sciences behind a lot of the things. The sciences aren't really taken into a lot of account. Okay, so we've got... Okay, let's get the broom up the butt. Okay, so now what we need to do is... Alright, let's isolate this one scene right here. Create a snip right there. They could have made the rules more stringent, but unfortunately the scene left no room for that, so all they could do was a throwaway line of 1 in a million and 9. It's so broken it can end wars. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the thing. I think that they did that for several reasons. One, to explain why other ships hadn't done it, but I mean, if you look, I mean, I'm not too bothered by it because, again, the ship that crashed into Snoke's ship was so big, and Snoke's ship was just a sitting duck that could not move or move in time. And in addition, you also have the fact that the chances of missing, like assuming that, okay, so now what I have to do is get the dirt and sand over these parts. So let me just mute this for a second. How much do we need? Ooh, we have a window here. Okay, this is still doable, I think. I think there might be another way of doing this with the asset that we have here. Asset. Oh, got another idea. When the grandma's face becomes evil looking, put Joey Wheeler. Oh, God. Are you thinking of Joey Wheeler's face with the chin? The one, yeah, that chin. I know exactly what you mean. He makes that a couple of times in the anime. I think he does it twice in the anime. Alright. So what I'm going to have to do here... Alright, so we've got this, and now I'm going to have to... Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to move the sand over his legs and hide the fact that there is already a body here. That I can do a different time. There's so much that I have to do. Yeah, let's look for the Joey face. And I can use a Joey's sound effect that Deeper Cut used in one of his Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube oops. Yeah. Oh God. If you don't know what face there is being referred to, this is it. Hang on, let me just pull it up. This is it, right here. Save image. Join. I don't want to join Pinterest. I have no interest. Can't I just... I'll just save it from the Google. Of course, I'll just save it from Google. No, I can't do that. I'll just find a... Oh, God. I might be a sucker for some hammy characters, but there's some really fun ones in Avatar 2. A returning face I love, and it's like evil Australian ship captain acting as a subheel that I loved. I can't wait to... I'm curious what Avatar 2 is like. I know that with James Cameron's original Avatar, it was best seen in like a IMAX theater with the best possible 3D glasses. I'm kind of glad that he shied away from the glasses, but with the new one, I really would have liked to see it in 3D, and I didn't see it really advertised all that much. Which is interesting, because the original Avatar really jump-started the push for the, I guess, not push, but reintroduction of 3D into movies. Because before you had those flimsy paper 3D glasses, the blue and the red, and then, the 3D movies, they're still being made, but they're not advertised as 3D as often as they were. In fact, hold on. Like, this is my 3DS. Best Nintendo, like one of the best Nintendo consoles. And I love its 3D capabilities. Very early on with the 3DS, they really wanted to showcase not just 3D games, but 3D everything. There was a little downloadable piece of content called the Nintendo Video. And on the Nintendo Video, they had some college humor clips like Dinosaur Office, but they also had trailers for movies that were in 3D or being shown in 3D, including Captain America, the First Avenger. And I remember seeing that in 3D and thinking, they don't really do much with this. And it wasn't as good as something like an actual 3D game. But with Avatar was one of those movies that was made for 3D. Everything popped out brilliantly. It's like a really good 3DS game where the 3D isn't just a gimmick, but it makes everything pop out so much more. All right, let's put it right back into ZXL. CE1. Perfect. And let's import the Joey face. I wonder if there was a really good version of Avatar 2 in 3D. I can maybe justify a theater ticket for something like that. Here we go. The Joey face. Bada bing, baby. That's something that Joey says, right? Bada bing. And then there's the Joey sound that I mentioned that he... Hold on. It's in the Deeper Cut YouTube group that I'll download, because I think that's the only source, or the only Yu-Gi-Oh! Anything that I know he makes it during. Yes. I remember all those 3D TVs and premium TV services of having the programming in 3D. Yeah. I used to work for Walmart and sold a few 3D TVs, and not all of them were the best, but a lot of companies made a big bang of the buck for those 3D TVs. 3D was a fad basically because it didn't add to things very much. It was very expensive, and a sizable portion of the population can't handle it. You're absolutely right. My wife, so when we saw episode 7 in theaters, the only tickets left were the 3D version of it, and my wife wears glasses, so that means that she has to put glasses over her glasses unless she's wearing contacts. It's a pain. Okay, let's see. this Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube poop that I'm looking for. Where is it? This is it. Joey visits the Left 4 Dead parades. This is a Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube poop that Deeper Cut made in 2014, I think. If it wasn't 2014, it was 2009. It was just like a little short one, and I really liked it. I thought it was really funny. So, and it also kind of got me into the Pet Shop Boys because he used a Pet Shop Boys song in it. But there's a sound effect from it that Joey makes, or a sound that Joey makes, rather. I saw Avatar 2 in 3D and loved it. That's great. I think 3D is one of the big things that helps theaters to stand out. And yeah, making a movie 3D is expensive, and very often it's a pain in the ass, it's expensive, and it doesn't usually lead to a bigger return on the investment, and it does weed out a lot of people who can watch the movie. But that's usually why there are both non-3D and 3D versions of the movie in theaters. And you know what? I'm game if it's a worthwhile effort. And James Cameron 3D, I consider that a worthwhile effort. Okay, here we go.
You sure?
Okay. Yeah. I love that. This is Deeper Cut text to me. I think that the default color of his software, which I think was Adobe, it was this yellow gold. So whenever I see this yellow gold color in a YouTube poop, it makes me think of Deeper Cut all the time. Oops. Don't want to delete that. I need to get rid of the... Yes. So we can apply this. One of those 3D visuals quickly give me terrible headaches. Yes, I remember trying to watch Polar Express with those cheap 3D glasses, and it was a nightmare. So cheap 3D, I don't blame you. I remember I saw Spy Kids 3D when it came out. And the big thing, of course, was it wasn't 3D. Every single advertisement for it was about the 3D. In fact, in all of the commercials for it, and all the trailers that I saw too, they showed like a theater full of kids, and Carmen Cortez reaches out her arm into the theater to simulate how big it was. Now, back then, those designed for 3D movies, they would just pop out at you 3D. The kind of thing where you have popcorn popping, but the kernels are so big and they throw it. And you had pogo toads in the movie that stuck out your tongues at you. So, yeah, that cheap 3D, it was only there to either make a killing off of susceptible people or to try to kind of illustrate these pop out at you effects. But I think true 3D does have a place in some cinema if you do it right. But yeah, it does give headaches, a lot of headaches. I remember playing on my 3DS for a long period of time, and I would get a headache. But goddamn, the 3DS 3D looks so good. Still looks good to this day. I think that's a testament to just how awesome it was. Like, if you don't have a 3DS and you want to see what that 3D was like, you will be wowed by it. You'll be absolutely wowed by how good the 3D is. And I really, really wish that there were, a couple more years on its lifespan. But it is what it is. It lasted a good long time. You should do a Scooby-Doo YouTube poop called Scoop's Resurrection. Maybe. I mean, Orpheus for the win. I think I don't know if he's down for the count when it comes to the, making new YouTube poops, but it wouldn't hurt. James Cameron pioneered it, and his focus on quality is second to none, so his 3D would be probably the only thing I'd care to see. Yeah, I think that the 3D for James Cameron films is going to be a world of difference compared to other types of 3D that is employed in a lot of movies. I think overall, Cameron has such a very, very big like he's an eye for detail. Like I said, he knows how to frame special effects so well. In a lot of movies where the CG is the big focus, like, it's taken for granted. Like, the directors assume, or at least the cinematographers assume, that this is something that no one's ever seen before. But we're at a point now where CG is being used for so much in films that we can't appreciate all of the things that it does, like an explosion rocking things, or like in what's a good example, in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, like the helicarriers flying up into the sky. Like, obviously that's all CG, but it's done in a way where we're not thinking, wow, that looks so good. It's done in a way where we're thinking, okay, this pertains to the plot. And it looks good enough that we don't care about how they did it. We just care about the fact that there are helicarriers that need to be taken down by Captain America and his team. But so many directors try so hard to put the 3D front, the CG front and center. And they fail spectacularly because we've seen it all before. We've seen movies that are just so special effects laden, and it doesn't wow us. James Cameron knows that, and he wants there to be not just a sense of wow with the special effects, but he wants it to look good in the context of the scene. And that's why Avatar still is talked about, because granted, I think a lot of films have kind of caught up to what it has done, but overall, in the grand scheme of things, it's how you frame something as much as it is what you do, because you're the director. You're holding the lens, so to say. So what you say gets filmed. How it gets filmed, you have to say over. James Cameron's so good at that. I think Skooks is, Morbius for the wins thing, but you can pay homage to him. Absolutely. I paid homage to him in the Ice Age YouTube poop, where I have the caveman frozen in the block of ice. I thought that was a really good homage to him. I think that was a fantastic series, and just, man, so many great classics from those early 2010s that still stand to this day. I think that a lot of people who are just getting into YouTube poop, it's so unfortunate that it's a little bit trickier to find some of the classics. If people watch those, they'll be wowed about how much they hold up. I feel pity for you, Captain, having to see Spy Kids 3D. I think that, and Spy Kids 3D stuff is so obnoxious. It was a meme in and of itself. Yeah, I agree. The thing about the 3D is that, like I said, it was front and center. In the theatrical run of the movie, what's his name? The guy who plays Floop, Alan Cummings. There's before the movie, he appears on screen. You are about to watch a 3D movie. And when the characters put on their glasses, that's the sign for you to put on your 3D glasses, because then the movie becomes 3D. And I remember that in the movie, during that scene, like, where he's talking to the audience, he's going to, so first you go to the snack bar, then you buy a popcorn, and bam, you just spent $5, and a $5 bill just flashes at the screen coming toward us. It was the best part of the movie. Alan Cummings can do no wrong. The reviewers I watched just call the poor CG in modern films volume. It's filler where you know the actors are just in a green screen. That's a really good, First off, President of Pluto, welcome to the stream. And that's a great term for it. It is just volume. It's fluff. I would call it fluff, even. Nice. It's just there to take up the space. Yeah, that's a really good term, volume. I like volume as well. For me, the problem with CG is how often it's used and as a crutch. You look at old movies like King Kong and they use a dozen different... Yeah, exactly. And even in Titanic, like, the practical effects used in Titanic, like, there's a reason why I love that movie so much. And it's because of how James Cameron frames the special effects. And special effects isn't just CG, it's all of the ways that they simulate all the things happening, like the ship being destroyed, the water bursting through. I went to, so there's a Universal Studios in Singapore. And when I went there, one of the exhibits was a Steven Spielberg voiceover on him, quote unquote, directing a movie where there's a disaster, like a storm, and they have all these things happen, like a ship bursting through the dock doors and crashing into a dock, and crashing into like a part of the pier. I don't know if that's another Universal Studios or even the US ones, but the thing that stuck out to me about that is these are all practical effects that we never see in movies anymore because CG has completely replaced them. And I miss it. It looks so good even to this day in many movies. And even when it doesn't look good, you love what they did to try and achieve it. There are so many good 80s movies that use just simple special effects and to great aplomb. Like, not just special effects, but puppeteering and a lot of great machinery work. I think one of the best examples of this, of an 80s film that still stands to this day with all of that effort, is Little Shop of Horrors. I mean, people like to talk about Ghostbusters being a huge, huge special effects, and, well, not just Ghostbusters, but there are lots of other movies like Terminator that did that as well. Little Shop of Horrors, the whole thing with Audrey 2, it was done so masterfully and it holds up so well. So I wish I could see some of that nowadays, and you have to kind of respect the efforts of filmmakers who went through all of these big budgets just to bring in all of these fantastic sets, big props, and make the machinery work, the makeup work, everything. Seeing variety and ingenuity just satisfying to me. Yeah. I think that you need to kind of mix both. I mean, even the original Jurassic Park, it didn't 100% use like CG. They mixed proper machinery and puppeteering with it. So, like the scene where the Brontosaurus is leaning in to take a bite of leaves, that's obviously puppeteering, but it's mixed with special effects in a really good way, and it's blended so well. It still looks good. So let's see.
A kiss goodbye. Bye.
Okay. So right here is where we're going to have this face. I'm glad I get to use this. There's that big old chin. Yep. I have some old YouTube poops saved back when YouTube used FLV format. Ooh. Nice. Wish I saved more. Man. I mean, if you can convert them, do it. Because if you can't upload them to YouTube because of that format, still. Catpan, no, you're making me physically ill talking about the Spy Kids 3D film. I mean, it's as bad as it sounds, but it's also so goofy that you can't hate it. I mean, the original Spy Kids, really endearing. And it's really good at making you, forget about how goofy the computer graphics are. The second Spy Kids is even goofier, but it's pretty good. And it's got that amazing Steve Buscemi quote. Do you think God stays in heaven because he too is afraid of what he created? It's a Spy Kids 2 line. 3D is very obviously just... I think Robert Rodriguez loves making stuff for kids, and he loves just having kiddie types of fun. And he doesn't care about... I don't care too much about, I should say, having that, you know, that rich cinematic experience all the time. I think he just likes making things that kids would enjoy, like toys. And you know, I can't fault him for making Spy Kids 3D. Man, what is the part where you talk about the Treehouse of Horror collab? I thought I just mentioned that. Well, I mentioned it some time ago, but yeah, I mean, I know that you talked about the Treehouse of Horror collab. I think that it's a great idea for a collab, and I'm curious to see how it went. That line, I've never heard it before, so it's something of a meme, especially for people who are familiar with the Spy Kids 2 film, maybe even grew up with it. So in the context, give me 1 second. Let me just cross some things off here. Okay, so all right, I'll just work on this. So in the film, it's called the Island of Lost Secrets. The two kids, Carmen and Junie, stumble upon an island that's hidden from maps that has all of these gigantic bizarro creatures that were created by the scientist who is so scared of his creations he never sets out foot outside of his lab. And he says that to the kids, like, do you think that's why God stays in heaven? Because he too is afraid of what he created. It's kind of a deep thought. And it's then preceded by, I'm no loon. This would never happen, but I'm laughing at the idea of James Cameron making a story YouTube poop with a budget. That would be killer if he could do that. Maybe in a alternate dimension. I'm sure he could do something, but YouTube poop typically is a little bit more... I mean, the thing about YouTube poop, I've once seen it described in an article. I forget if it was the Insider, TechCrunch, whatever. But an article back in 2019 once described YouTube poop as punk rock. And when I think punk rock, I think almost about a DIY aspect. James Cameron has all of these professional studios, all of these amazing graphics that it almost wouldn't be a YouTube poop. It would be something so professional that it would almost not just break barriers, but almost defy what a YouTube poop is. It's almost like a garage band type of genre. That's why I tell you all the time, don't worry about how things look special effects wise, because what matters is how, not that you made it look real, but that you did the best you could to make it look awesome or funny. That's why I don't bother myself a lot with how certain effects look. I don't have the best effects. I am never going to compete with anybody with animation. But I'll be damned if I don't try. I'll be damned if I don't try to make things look as awesome as I want them to be. I love it when I can frame something that way. You realize in the spirit of live streaming YouTube creation, you got to add that line somewhere in this one, right? You know what? Maybe I can. Do you think God... Where can I add it? First... Man, I really wish that we could have watched the whole episode like I wanted to. The first stream got cut off by YouTube because it got flagged for copyright, and for obvious reason, I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal in its entirety, thinking that it wouldn't be a problem. No, it is a problem. I do it. So, if there's a way to add that, do you think God stays in heaven line? Although, I have said before that I would make a sequel to Spy Kids if the Mets won the World Series. And I do have some ideas for another Spy Kids. I'll hold on to that. I won't go into what those ideas are because they're just brainstorming ideas. James Cameron making a story YouTube poop with a budget is the master poop. I swear to God, the guy has a damn studio. The guy has the best of the best working for him. That's what it is. Let's see, this gate right here. Let's see, what do I want to tackle now? What we got? 50 minutes left in the stream. Let's work on an effect that I started. Let's do that with the antlers.
Antlers. Antlers.
Wow. And I really love just,
Antlers.
yeah, putting things to work like this. I wonder if there is a green screen of Gaston that I can use in this scene. It would be a lot easier if I could do that. Worst case, I'll just cut out his face or something like that. Or his body. Gaston Green. Oops. There we go. I might not even have to look at YouTube or something like that. I've got my sights set on that one. Alright, I'll just cut out an image of Gaston. Ooh, I like this one. Save image as. Not Beyblade. No, I want to go to Zexel. There we go. So this image of Gaston I like. I think it would be a funny frame to have him say antlers through. It should show. Come on. That's interesting. Let's try that again. Maybe it's just because I saved it as a certain file that isn't going to work. Save image as AVI file. Alright, well, what I'll do instead is just... I'll use a similar one. That works. Man, I really wish I could keep this alive. My night is complete. Farewell, Captain. I'm out to visit friends. You enjoy those friends, my man. You enjoy those friends. Cartoonosaurus Rex, welcome. Ansel with antlers. Good idea. Let's see. You know, we're adding a lot of Gaston to this YouTube poop. Maybe there is a way to integrate some kind of a way to integrate that joke. I'll just put it off to the side. Ants with antlers. Okay, this will work. It's a WebP image. It integrates into Vegas just fine. There we go. You see my comment then? What's the part where you talk about the Tree Horse of Horror collab? I thought it was a good idea for a collab. I think that I was also talking about how a lot of the collabs are hosted on YTP Mania. And yeah, there's a lot more to it. I'd have to rewind the stream, but yeah, Ants with Antlers is a good joke and wouldn't be hard to add. No, it would not. It would not be hard to add. In fact, all those times that we make references to Yuma's hair looking like antlers, I bet it would be really easy to integrate that Ants with Antlers joke. It's just a shame that we can only see maybe this part of the episode in the stream. I want to show you so much more. I'll be working on so much more in the future. Maybe I can make this our stream YouTube poop. Although, oh yeah, that's right. Next week I can't stream because I'm going to be elsewhere, but I'll still be able to work on YouTube poops in the background. Actually, I should be able to finish up Velma for the most part and have it uploaded, but I won't be able to, you know, because this equipment right here, I just can't take it with me. I'm going to be in a different house doing some different things for different reasons. Yeah, combine the, yeah, I can see that being, like, if I can get Gaston to be summoned. That would be a really good joke there. Oops. Summoning Gaston would be a really good idea. I do summon another. I do summon Black. I summon someone who has a lot of lore in my YouTube poops. I'll say that. Someone whose lore goes pretty deep with my YouTube poops. And I'm really excited by how the duel scene is, because there is a duel scene in episode 1. Again, the entire episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, again, this is the first episode, it's right up on YouTube. I don't think there is any geo restriction. And if there is, well, most people have VPNs, but it's right there on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Main channel. It is easy to spot. You can't miss it. Just gotta search for it. And in addition to that, yeah, I mean, I love it when people try making YouTube poops of things for themselves. I think this is a, you know, if you're a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh!, if you watched the series when you were growing up, or maybe you watched the series a lot, and for different reasons, regardless of what those reasons are, if you see a lot of potential in it, go for it. I'll say this, the number of jokes that I can come up with, like, I wrote down a ton of jokes. It's just a matter of what joke I want to tackle next in the stream. And how I frame it as well. Again, this is a series, like the Game On series. Game On Gaston. The Game On series, like, I feel like I have to hold it to such a big part of quality because I don't want it to be just another Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube poop. Game On, to me, means it's... So, with those episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX that I used, I felt like that was everything that I could have done with that episode. That's the same thing that I want to convey with this, because I want there to be, like, I want to drain all the ideas that I can from this source and use them. I don't want to look at the episode again and think, oh, I could have done that. Oh, I should have done that. I could have done this better. I mean, I hate doing that, but, you know, sometimes I can't help it. Here we go. Almost done. I don't care about the arrows. It's just filler. I just need Gaston. Man, that pompadour. Doesn't Gaston make you think of Groose from The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword? I think that maybe was his inspiration. Like, you put the two together. Forgot to say, one of my favorite Orpheus for the Win jokes is when Fred says, let's plot a course for intercourse. Yes, that's a classic. I think my favorite... my favorite Orpheus for the Win joke is, watch me swoosh right in. It's like, you talk about you know, the caveman being frozen in there, but swoosh was another one of those really quotable lines from the Skooks series. It was made into like a whole bunch of GIFs. I think it just it just took off as form avatars or something. Forgot to say, yeah, I mean, it's a very simple sentence mix, and sometimes simple is best. Don't want to overcomplicate yourself.
Antlers.
Okay, let's soften the antlers.
Antlers. Antlers. Antlers.
There we go. That's what I like. Oh yeah, the swoosh. Yeah, that swoosh right in joke got me into real life. Yes, yes. People were talking about it outside of YouTube poop. I mean, I saw the Frozen here, so on and so forth. That was such a big hit outside the YouTube poop itself. So, no surprise there that it took off. Just really well-timed humor, And it did so many things right. I'm so glad that that poop became popular. Alright, I need to zoom into it. Maybe move the hair to... right here. I want the antlers to be very evident. Oh my gosh. Okay, this might do it. Okay, so he says antlers, and he's just going to pop in, shake a little bit, and then pop out. And this is one of those times where... oh, I have it on best. Shoot, no wonder it's been working a little slower. Eesh, I don't want the bandwidth eaten up. Okay, so let's just trim it down. Part of what I like is the consistency of the intercourse joke. You see a bunch of shaggies, yeah, run and slam the door again and again. And when Fred says plot a course, yeah. Oh man, so many wonderful things. And I love that he hosted a collab surrounding Skooks as well. Okay, let's see. I think I'll just have him peer there, and then I'll have him shake a little bit. Just do a little shake. Then... there you go. Right there. So I have 3 anchors here, which will animate Gaston's shaking. And all I'm going to do here is copy, paste, again and again. And I'm just going to trim this. Actually, I don't need to trim it at all. I'll just keep it where it is. Watch me swoosh right in. Oh, man. Yes. Okay.
Antlers! Antlers!
Yeah. There we go. So he falls out of bed and pauses, shows the antlers.
Oh, weird dream.
Right here. Man. These are antlers. These are real antlers.
Antlers! Antlers!
Okay, then we complete the clip.
Oh well.
And we're going to have more and more antlers added as this goes on, as the poop continues. I think that's a fantastic running joke.
Antlers!
Okay.
Oh well.
And now
Just
he's
about
got
now.
to jump. This is another idea that I think is very, very swell.
And late! And late! And late!
I wonder how this sounds reversed.
And late!
It's a good reverse clip. It's just very fluid motion. I said from the beginning of this stream, or at least the beginning of the first attempt at the stream tonight, that the animation is monumentally better than the prior versions of Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, here's an idea for somewhere later in the poop. Okay, let's hear it.
And late! Late!
I think Leo.
Late! And late!
I like that. And Lael. What's your idea, Hercules? What you got? Save that. So skip to he.
Babysitter.
think.
Oh, I'm not again. Oh, I'm not again.
Okay. I'm just gonna get rid of this for now. I think that's good for now. Oh, wait. The Faces of Evil. The Faces of Evil. Can't forget the Faces of Evil. When Yuma says... When Yuma gets even more antlers, have Gaston... Ooh, Stanlers. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll just put this in parentheses. Add Stanler. It also would be a good idea to add the Stanler's antlers to Yuma's head. So I'll put this in parentheses. And mix Stanler. Alright, let me make sure I date this right. 7/17 Zexel. Perfect. I like that. I think that's a swell idea. I mean, there's so many different antlers that we can use. I mean, just imagine by the end of the video, he's just got so many antlers. Oh, speaking of the end of the video, this is a two-parter episode IRL. So, in other words, this is just part one. I think that the duels in this show go on for a little bit longer episodes. So, the first duel that he has with his adversary, who is Shark, it continues into the second episode, and there's a reason for that, because he does something that awakens something. So kind of like how in the original series there's a Yami Yugi, there's kind of a Yami Yuma. I will go into a little bit more depth maybe when we get to it, but one thing I was wondering is how can I incorporate the second episode, because it doesn't feel right. Because the first episode ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger. It doesn't feel right to end this on a cliffhanger as well. In both of the episodes that I used for YouTube Poop material, I had full duels. I want to have a full duel here. And I'm sure that I can make that happen. It's probably going to mean I cut out a couple of opportunities here. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Okay, so let's see. We're going to stretch this. Put it over here.
I'm not again. What am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? Oh yeah, to get dressed.
Yeah, this is just the animation is much, much better.
Sure. Sounds like a scoop.
Sounds like a poop.
Sounds like a scoop.
Here's another idea. When Gaston gets summoned by the trap card, you can have Yuma use a card called Gun, and Gaston just shoots Yuma's opponent. So I'm guessing you have the idea of Gaston being summoned by Yuma. Maybe he just has the gun to begin with. That's one idea. Because if he summons him as a monster, he needs a way to attack. Although there is a card that he uses called Wonder Wand, the one can be mixed into Gun. That's a possibility. The big question is, how do we get Yuma to say Gaston? Yuma has the most lines of any character in this episode. He's the main person. There's no doubt a way. No doubt there's a way.
Sounds like a scoop. 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 Sounds like a scoop.
Poop or scoop? Or scoop poop.
Sounds like a scoop. A scoop. A scoop.
Yeah, I think it's scoop poop.
Scoop. Scoop. Scoop.
Let's just get this trimmed at the end. it's an ending P. So
Scoop.
all right, let's leave that the way it is for now. Yeah, scoop poop poop scoop. Poopity scoop de whoop scoop de poop. And and the Skooks references will just swoosh right in. Yes. Oh man, there's an opportunity to say Skooks. Man, we just talk about it and it appears right before our eyes.
Scoop.
Okay. We can have so many things.
Scoop. Scoop.
Now, there's more lines to this scene, and
I'll get right on it, boss. Right on it, boss.
I love a good lead in the morning.
in the morning.
What gives?
Okay. Let's just push this further. Oops. Push this further down. And there are more lines to this character in this episode.
Gives, Kari? Why didn't you wake me up?
Because I'm a news reporter. Not your babysitter.
Come on. Let's see if we can find a good... a P, a K.
You're in middle school now, little bro. Act
There's a T.
like it.
And that's the last. Okay. Well, worst case, we just pull a K or a T from somewhere else. Skooks references everywhere.
Boss.
Let's just save this for now. I don't know. I just have so many worries that my computer is just going to explode and I need everything saved.
And lady.
Sounds like a scoop.
Okay. So, it's a soft K sound that we need. And the beauty of consonants is that they don't need to be... if you're using them in a YouTube poop sentence mix, you don't need to worry too much about the sound coming from the character, especially a K or a P. Especially a K. So let's see if we can get a K sound from somewhere in this episode. We can manipulate it to make it sound like she said it.
I'll get right on it, boss.
Although,
Right on it. I'll get
no, that's a G sound.
cool now, little bro.
Time. Ah, Grandma, what are you doing?
Wow. What about a goodbye kid? Bye, kid.
What can we do to get that K sound? I mean, a K or a P sound would be perfect.
A grand slobbering. Either you give Grandma
My
No. Alright, maybe we should just look deeper into the episode. There are going to be a lot more opportunities for us to use some more of those voice lines. God, I wish I could play this kick-ass theme. I don't want to risk it. I'm serious. If you haven't heard the Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal theme, it's maybe the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Theme next to Vrains.
Let me chew on that. Let me chew on that. Yeah, okay. Yeah!
Man.
Trash identified. Trash identified.
Hey, that's not trash.
I need to get the 4D contaminant line from Wally. That, I think, would go good. But the robots have many more lines here as well. We can use those lines to... Yeah, we can use those lines to sentence mix something. Small idea, you can have Haruhi on one of the screens that Yuma's mom is... Oh, goodness! Dang it, that's a great idea. You know what? Let's do it. I've got to go back to... That's a perfect Easter egg. I still have my Haruhi folder right here. Let's see if I can find a great still of... It'd probably be in the images. Yeah. This is good. Everyone's got a Haruhi folder. If you don't have a Haruhi folder, get a Haruhi folder. So, let's see. Right here, this is like the most optimal place to have it. I wonder if how many people notice it. I want you to serve me. That's good. So let's just make this an output aspect match so I can shrink it and then mask it. I don't want the words, I just want Haruhi. We adjust it accordingly. The cool part is that we're going to have we're going to fixate a lot on this person during this scene because I think we can get her to sentence, we can sentence mix so much. So having this in, as a nice little background Easter egg would be fantastic. Alright, we need to make that a little smaller. And I'm just going to set this to best. Bandwidth be damned right now. I just need to make sure it looks good. Yeah, that looks great. That looks great. It's weird. I don't think I've had many bandwidth problems. The stream hasn't really slowed down all that much to my knowledge. What is the minute where Cap is talking about the Treehouse of Horror collab? I don't remember the minute. I'm so sorry, Fartsmoan. And by the way, Hercules, this is not his mom. This is his sister. So, I don't blame you for thinking it's his mom because, I mean, she definitely looks old enough to be a mom, but... Alright, let's go to deform. I need a deform effect. I'm just going to make it a slight deform so that it... Yes, there we go. Okay, so shuck it like this, right there. And then I'm going to adjust the mask a little bit so that it matches right here. Great. And I think people will notice this. That's good because this is a red background and the computer screen is white. Now I'm going to apply an effect that makes it a little bit more of a digital screen looking thing. There we go. Yeah, because having parents in a kids show, very few shows actually did that. And when they are in kids shows, they're not serious parents. Okay, so what we need is that makes it look detail zoom. Oh, when the robots are going after Yuma's cards, you can have Yuma say, hey, that's trash instead of not trash. Yeah, it's a simple joke. That's a simple joke that I can do. I'll just write it down. I wonder what else could be done with that scene, though. I just really wonder. Okay, no aperture grill. Interlacing. How does it look when I adjust? Get rid of the interlacing because I don't think it's needed on this digital screen here. Not serious parents making chocolate pudding at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yes. No line desyncing. No vertical phasing. Just keep that the way it is. Scan phasing.
Right on it, boss.
Ooh, I like this. This scan phasing is good.
I'll get right on it, boss.
Static. No static. This is good the way it is. I don't need to make it blue.
I'll get right on it, boss.
In fact, what I'll do is... Let's see. Without it, the screen doesn't update. It just stays where it is. Oops. Does it return to that frame? Okay, so it lingers on this frame for this long. Okay, so it does zoom out eventually, but that's okay. I don't need to worry about that. So, okay, so returning to this, what I'm going to do, maybe have a sound effect employ itself. So let's do this. Create an anchor, put it right here, and then right about here. Oops. No, I want this anchor to be right here. That's where I want it to be. This anchor, not the position anchor, but the mask anchor. Okay, and then I just do that. And then I have a sound effect for when it appears on the screen. So it's going to stay like this.
I'll get right on it, boss.
I
Yeah.
love a good lead in the...
There we go. And there are lots of different sound effects I can apply to this. So great Easter egg idea, Hercules. Man, there's so much that can be done with that alone. Okay, let's go back to just finding some P's and K's. If we can find a good P. Now, let's skip this. There's a conversation that he has with his friend. I think that's going to be a good opportunity.
So as this example clearly shows, our sentence has a noun.
Yes.
Those dares? Why not? It's good fun.
Good fun. No.
It's fun to turn green coughing up,
Coughing.
green cough, coughing up pool water?
No, but that's the price you pay.
Price you pay. It's a PR sound, so no.
If you're gonna be great, you gotta take chances. So I take lots, because I wanna be the...
Did you know that there was a Mad Magazine cartoon from 2012 that aired on Cartoon Network? Yeah. Yeah, I did. I remember it got a lot of attention because of the My Little Pony craze that was going on. The Mad cartoon was doing a little skit on My Little Pony because they parody a lot of different things. And that got a lot of attention at the time because it did a shout out for bronies.
greatest...
I didn't see a lot of episodes, but I thought the skits that I had were pretty funny.
story.
Never mind, just read at your desks.
And with this golden key, one day I will be.
That's the key your parents gave you, right? That they found on one of their expeditions?
Expeditions.
Or expedition?
No.
Expeditions?
Yep. And you know what it unlocks?
Ooh. There we go. Skooks can be made from this sound. That's what I want. That's what I love, when I can find those voice clips that work so well somewhere else. Okay, let's just save this before anything explodes. I take lots of chances because I want to be the greatest. Darwin Award, maybe. I think there might be something better. I think there might be something better than that line, but we'll have to explore it some more given that when we get the chance. Okay. So pulling this over here.
Sounds like a scoop.
So scoop turns into
A scoop. Scoop. Scoops.
needs a longer O.
Scoops. Scoops.
Listen to that. Listen to skooks.
Scoops. Scoops.
If there ever was a time to pay homage, this is a perfect opportunity. Now it's just a matter of turning it into something. How can we integrate Skooks into that scene with her at her computer? We'll find a way. But I'm just glad we were able to get that. So we got the KS, and we need a P so that we get a more solid sounding poop coming out of her. Yep, music to the ears, all right. That's why I love sentence mixing. When it goes right, it goes spectacularly right, and you have to stop and just admire what happens. The perfect blend of ingredients to make a delicious toing.
Potential.
Ooh. Potential.
Potential. Potential. Potential.
I need an ending P sound.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, and like I said, you can utilize other people's consonant sounds, and it still sounds good. It still sounds like the original character said it.
Really? Think it could work on me?
Nope.
Nope. Oh, nope. What? Ooh. I wonder if... Oh, man. This is going back to the Team Fortress 2 days. Can I extend the neck and get him to say nope? Let's see. What is his mouth movement like?
Nope.
So if I extend the neck... This background is just a wall with a vertical line. It's totally doable. This is totally doable. So, nope. TF2NG. Have you ever watched the film Yellow Submarine? I have not. I've seen bits and pieces of the live-action Hard Day's Night, but I haven't seen Yellow Submarine.
Why?
Because this key is part of me.
Just make sure that...
With it, I'm good to go.
And then his iconic line.
With it, I feel the flow!
Yeah, look, it's better than GX, but it's still cheesy as hell.
Sorry. And I feel the flow most during duel period.
Oh, wait. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Ay, ay, ay. One more time.
With it, and I feel the flow.
Okay, this might be a little gross, but...
And I feel the flow most during duel period.
And I feel the flow most during dual period, and I feel the flow most during my period. Oh, God. That is going to be a really gross joke, but I can't resist. I can't resist. I am so sorry, guys. Yes, you got it right off the bat. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is going to be I can't believe I'm doing this. But I have to. I have to make the ultimate sacrifice. Okay, well, let's just get this done. So this is, we're going to do it right here. All right. All right, there is a my in there somewhere. I just know there is, and I think that that conversation that he has with Kari is the perfect opportunity to explore it. Oh my God. I love how all of us just came to that conclusion at the same time. This is... If you've got the ear for it, you've got the ear for it. Okay, so here's the conversation scene.
Sentence has a noun and a predicate.
So, why do you do it, Yuma?
Those dares? Why not?
Okay, let me just adjust.
It's good fun.
It's fun to turn.
Oh my gosh. I'm way too late, but hello. That's okay, Fidget. That is okay. Welcome to the last 10 minutes or so of the stream. We're going to make one of the most disturbing jokes
Green
ever
puffing up
that I know of.
pool water?
That I've ever done.
No, but that's the price you pay. If you're gonna be
Yes, it is the price I pay.
great, you gotta take chances. So I take lots, because I wanna be the greatest, Tori. And with this golden key, one day I will be.
Right? That they found on.
And you know what it unlocked? Potential. Isn't that cool? Cool?
Really?
He says my
Think it
somewhere. I
could
just
work
know it.
on me?
Nope.
Ugh. Why?
Because this key is part of me.
Me. He says me here.
With it, I'm good to go.
Nope. Okay. He says my. I know he says my somewhere in this episode. I guess one of the things I'll do in the meantime is work on the nope joke that I thought of. Okay. I think it'll work on me.
Nope.
God.
Nope.
Right here. Okay. But that's okay. I mean, I know it is possible. If, like, worst case scenario, I just have to pull a little snippet from another episode of this show where he does say it. Okay. So, oh my god. I guess in a sense, this was too hot for the stream. That's alright. Much too hot for the stream. Okay, so he says, nope. I mask his head, but I extend the neck. So extending the neck shouldn't be a problem. I just mask it out, use a deform effect, and stretch it, and just keep deforming it as much as I can. Worst case, I have to use a track motion. If you've never watched, I can tell you, the Blue and an army of music-heating dudes attack Pepperland, which is under the sea, while young Fred travels to Liverpool and the Beatles save Pepperland. That sounds psychedelic to me, all right. Oh, that sounds psychedelic. I mean, I know that the Yellow Submarine film was a really far-out experience, and for a lot of people, like, it was maybe the product, like, people thought it was the product of some, let's just say, substances. But I mean, I love the song Yellow Submarine. I can't explain why. It just feels like a shanty. When Yuma says my period, have Yuma's head on the green. Oh my god. When Yuma says my period, have Yuma's head on the green hair girl, maybe? Just throwing out ideas. I think this is one of those things where if I explore this, I am going to gross a lot of, like, if I explore this really, really far, like, I go so deep into that joke, it's really going to gross people out. Maybe even me. I don't know how far I want to go. How far I'm comfortable going. Track motion pan and crop. Yep. What's going on, Caro? Welcome to the last 7 minutes of the stream. Now I'm wondering if using deform is easier than using pan and crop. It is, but the thing about deforming is that it affects the pan and crop, and you'll see what I mean once I'm done with it. You know what would be a wild source where YouTube poop? The lighthouse. The lighthouse. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Ooh, this might be a really good antlers scene. Well, we're using it as... Oh, he does the nope, extends the neck extends back down, and it's got antlers, more antlers. I plan, like, the framing of this... Okay, I'm just going to put a star here so I can work on the framing after the stream is done. What is the lighthouse? I'll show you. Give me a second. think it's a game, if memory serves. If I'm wrong about that, then oh, it is a movie. Oh, I thought it was a game. Oh no, I'm thinking of Firewatch. Whoops. 2019 movie with Defoe and Patterson. Actually, looking at it, it doesn't look like a 2019 movie. It looks like an older movie, but that's just a black and white talking. Horror drama. I don't know if it might be my thing. I only use bits and pieces of horror. But, I mean, maybe. Anything can be made into a YouTube poop if you do it, if you know how to do it. So, I wouldn't put it past anyone to try. Alright, so I guess what I'll do is I'll try and focus on making this head cut out. By golly, why does the hair have to be like this? I'm going to have to make a lot of edits to this one scene in order to make this Nope Antlers joke work. But by golly, will it be worth it? But 2019 movie Defoe and Patterson, I think it's really cool that it's got Robert Pattinson. I know that he has been really trying to, I guess, outrun his Twilight days, and he's doing a really good job at it. I remember him being so disturbed by the source material that he was, I guess almost put off by continuing to play the character, although, for the most part, we all start somewhere, and I think that I think he's really gotten to be a really, really good actor. Fantastic Batman, by the way. If you haven't seen the 2022 Batman, it is wonderful. And Robert Pattinson, oh man, he is the best Batman. And I don't say that lightly. Robert Pattinson was the best Batman. If you see the movie, oh man. I'll gush about it on a different stream. I can keep going. Reminds me that Lickety used Salo as a source, which is considered up there with one of the most vile movies of all time. Yeah. So the thing about Lickety was that there was really no limit to what he used. He was committed to making YouTube poops that were extremely psychedelic and extremely insane. Like, I think Lickety had some of the, if you watch YouTube poop for the straight up confusion, Lickety is up there, very up there. Like, you talk about, I've spoken about some early Emperor Lemon YouTube poops where he was extremely flashy, punchy with all of the edits, and it was extremely fast-paced. Lickety is that, but with some of the most incredible effects, intention, everything. The only other creator that I've seen come that close is Link on Drugs in some of his YouTube poops, but even then, Lickety is in a whole different ballpark. It's extremely amazing what he was able to do. His creations were experiences, and they were not short. They were events. They were really good. One idea for the Antlers joke, maybe add the horn from Horn of the Unicorn. Ooh. I'll add that in the parentheses beneath. Horn of the Unicorn. Remember that card. I like seeing Lickety's work described as intentionally pretentious. Dadaism is a good way to describe it. I think that if you're going to really look at YouTube poop as a form of art, then Lickety deserves to be in that conversation. His creations, my God. There were some parts of his videos that I just had to turn away from because they were a little bit too gruesome for me, but jeez. Just thinking about all the little things he did. Man. closing in on the end of the stream. If I can just close up this edit. So what I'm going to do here, because I want the neck to be separate from the head. So I'm going to have a curve here. Nope could also be a reference to the recent movie by the Get Out director. A reference to that recent movie. Ooh, maybe. I think I like it better as the TF2 NG joke, because it's it's one of those things where if I reference it, almost everyone will know what it's referencing, but it also gives me the opportunity to segue it into another Antlers joke. I had no idea Lickety had that reputation. Neither did I. I thought that Lickety was, I knew Lickety was a really, really good YouTube poop creator and really popular, but I had no idea that he had that label on him. That's my impression of Lickety. Okay. Well, you can't deny, they were incredible. Like, I don't know if he ever went into a YouTube poop with the intention of trying to make any form of art, but regardless, what he produced was unbelievable. Man, so many great creators from the 2010s that I can just gush about. Lickety, Dan Fango, Orpheus for the win. Yeah, TF2 is easier to tell. Absolutely agree. Also random, but it's amusing to me that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a running theme of characters having multiple people inside them or being split into separate personalities. Even Judai seeing monster spirits. You mean, yeah, Judai in the Japanese version, Jaden in the English version. Yeah, that's the thing that I had a hard time kind of getting behind, because it was a card game. It is a card game. So spirits coming out of cards that are manufactured. And then you had that episode where the Dark Magician girl becomes the object of everyone's simpery. Man. It was wild. It appears he is, as President of Pluto says, a dadaist, going for that irony of poisoned approach. At least on how Lickety works. Man, I don't know if I can watch his stuff again. Like, his videos were such that I remember a lot of scenes from them, and I don't even have to watch them. Like, I'm a person who was extremely intense as well, but I can rewatch the Ultimate Hoip of Hoips again and again and again, because there's so many great jokes. Lickety is just a far out surreal, and you have to really appreciate what he does. I wonder if Orpheus for the win is going to do some sentence mixing today. Well, we did sentence mix one of his jokes, so it's just past 10 my time, and I'm going to pull the plug for now, but I'll keep you updated on when the next stream is. I'm going to try and shoot not for next week, because next week is going to be when I'm away for a time. But if I can do it the week after that, that's great. Worst case scenario, we do it the week after that week. But don't expect... So yeah, long story short, no stream next week. And I'll keep you posted on everything else. Guys, it has been so awesome to get this ball rolling. I love these ideas. I hope you can see all that. And yeah, I'm so sorry, Farts moaned. I do have to end the stream. I gotta end the stream sometime. I have to sleep. But I love what this is turning out to look like. And I really, really can't wait for you to see how things progress. I'll work on this in the interim, and as I do, I'll make as many of these jokes as you guys proposed, and we'll make we'll make music out of this. We'll make magic. We'll make music. We'll make a metamorphosis. Dinner Warrior, Sia, Fidget, Sia, Hercules. I hope you had thank you for having a great time. Fartsmone, thanks for joining. Honarius, Turgo. Oh man, I really appreciate you joining the stream. Have a wonderful, wonderful day and night.